Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Burnout Podcast. My name is Skip O, and I'd like to talk to you about our sponsor today, Throttle and Thrive. You can go to throttleandthrive.com and check out what they got to offer. It's a 6-bed facility for men. In the future, they're working on one for women, but Siobhan is the CEO. Give her a call. Check out the place, do a virtual meeting, or go there, visit if you're there in California. Remember, that's throttleandthrive.com. Hey, I'd like to thank everybody for joining the show. We are the Burnout Network, and this is our podcast. Today, we're here with Christina. Christina is a fabulous guest because we only get the best for the burnout to bring to you.
Well, thanks, Skip. I'm great to be here.
Just to let everybody know, Christina has some patience because I had to run out. I forgot to come back here. And then I was like, oh, no, I forgot the podcast. So she is graciously to come on an hour later so we could get this podcast done. So, Christina, would you let everybody know a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure, Skip. I started a group called Fire Family Peer Support. I'm a 30-year wife of an Indianapolis firefighter. And we have been through it all. And we wanted to, me and a couple of people I know who joined on really early, we wanted to create a group where the family could come and find the kind of peer support that firefighters get in their jobs. People tend to forget that the family is just as married to the fire department as their firefighter is. So we wanted to make sure that there was a space for them to come and either have community, a place to lean on, a place to vent about you all, a place to vent about the department itself, and, have laughs and just know that there was somebody there you could talk to who you didn't have to translate any terms for because we speak fire department.
That's right. Chris, I know how important that was for families and my wife. And, when I went through my stuff and, it can even be with nobody that went through anything. It could just be like everyday stuff. We get home, we're a little grouchy sometimes because working a double shift, or we forget to tell our spouses something, not necessarily that we're keeping it back. We just don't think about it. And then they ask, oh, is this happening? Oh, I forgot. Sorry. But I think it's good for you to have that peer support for the families, because a lot of times when these organizations starts, we focus on the first responder because that's where the red light, that's where something's going on. We need to get them some help. And sometimes the families are forgotten about or there's not enough help out there for you. And you starting this and doing this is golden, because I just got a message earlier today from a friend of mine that her husband died a few months ago. And he's a firefighter from cancer. And what I told, I went in there and told my wife, but I told Lisa that I would like to get her on with some like-minded people, and I think she was willing to do that. So it's good that you're out there, and I can show you, just like today, I get calls all the time about that, and always have a resource. And you're a good resource for us, especially here in Indiana. But me and you we met, was it FDIC or after the dinner or after the fundraising thing? I can't remember.
You know what? It might have been the fundraising thing. I know we talked to FDIC and have checked in with each other.
Yeah, a lot of times I tell you, I meet a lot of different people, and you do too. And it's like, okay, where do we meet at? Who are they? And I stall until I try to remember the name. Now I just asked her name. I said, I'm sorry, I'm old and I can't remember.
That's the beauty of it, right? We've aged into not being embarrassed about it anymore. Honestly, there's a couple of things that we're doing, but the reason that this started, I've been thinking about this for several years, and you know how it is when you get started. You think about it for a while, and something's got to kick you in the pants to get you to move ahead and really dig in to do it. And I attended a retirement party at a station for a firefighter who was leaving due to medical. So, it wasn't anything that he didn't want it. Nobody wanted it. It was a shock. It wasn't time. And, having a hard time dealing with that. And it was the first time I met his wife was at that party after all of the medical things, after all of that. It wasn't, I didn't meet her until the actual retirement party. And we were having a conversation about, how hard it was to be supportive, but also want to, talk about it and talk about our real feelings without making our firefighter feel like they were a burden on us, because they're not, but we just need somebody to talk to. And I made the comment that, and it's a long running joke, my husband will will tell you I said this to him. When you retire, every third day, you need to find somewhere to go.
That's true. That's so true.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. And she said, I didn't know anyone else felt that way. And that was it. That was it for me. I was like, wow, every firefighter spouse I know, male, female, whatever, is like every third day they need to go somewhere.
Sure. I think too that helps, them it helps each other kind of, you don't have that much time together now. I mean, it's nice to spend time with somebody you care about, and it's also nice to spend time without somebody you care about too. Don't mean you love them any less.
Mm-hmm.
I need my space.
Nope.
And,
Yep.
but you've done a lot of things. You've seen a lot of things, through your husband's eyes, and you witnessed some things through
Mm-hmm.
the families, or been at fires, or you see it on TV. Some things. How do you? I mean, you got stuff. You're ahead of. You're one of the leaders of your community. You got a few others, and you always need volunteers. I think the right kind of volunteers.
Always.
But what do you do for your own mental health, for your own peer support? Who do you reach out to?
That's, honestly, we reach out to each other. The group of people that started this with me, we often lean on each other for different things. Of course, I have friends that I've had for a long time who, aren't a part of our group or didn't have time to give to that moment, and that's okay. That happens, but it's just having that strong group of friends. I also come from a faith based background. And so I lean a lot in my faith and, finding ways of being able to find peace there through either a meditation or a self care mantra or guide. Making sure that I have space where I can just sit and, feel the feelings I need to feel for the time being and kind of work through it. And then before I kind of get into the next thing I have to do. And I know some people are very rigid about like they do this in the morning or they do it in the evening and I just do it whenever.
Sure.
If I have a free hour on my schedule, I might just walk away and go, not even thinking I have anything I need to work through, but I need that hour to just be calm and not thinking about the next thing on my to-do list.
Sure. I think that's great. I know a lot of people, what I found out, faith is good. And a lot of people, whether you believe in a God or don't believe in a God, or you believe in a religion, to me, I don't care. Whatever works for you, do it. I
Right.
know what works for me. I was an atheist for a long time, or I thought there was something there. And then it worked out to me. Pain's a great motivator to lean on something, whether
It
whether it's
is.
just, and then after that something, it works out for me. I got a certain belief that I do certain things, prayer, meditate. I'm not real well at it. I used to do it all the time. Now I backed off, not because I wanted to, because I'm lazy and unorganized. But like you, I can go out walking in nature.
Yeah.
I can spend time with people I care about, or do events, and that's a way of giving back. And I'm figuring things out and trying to be in the background while I'm trying to answer a prayer to somebody or trying to take pressure off somebody.
Yeah.
The spouses are like that with us. I believe you guys are your service, and I'm not saying work or you're no servants to us, but you are service to us in a positive way. You're in the background a lot of times when these funerals come up, somebody died, you're cooking food, you're setting up dinners, you're coming to big fires at times and making sure we're supported. Some smaller departments have an organization. They're I can't remember what they called it. Fire auxiliary. That's what they used to call it. They call it something different now. Um,
Yeah.
but have you done some of that through the years, or just?
Well, honestly, I serve as an IFD chaplain, right? I have for the last few years. So I get called out a lot. Indianapolis is really fortunate. We have a group called the Fire Buffs that actually will come out and bring support and water and food and things like that for the firefighters on scene when they're going to be there for a while.
Does that include the chat? Like, do you get called out with that too? When the fire bus goes out, do you go out with it?
I don't always.
Okay.
It's, it just depends on what it is, and whether or not the family wants us to be there.
Sure.
Unless it's a firefighter injury, of course, and then we're called out for sure. But sometimes, and I understand that, sometimes the family hear chaplain and they don't want, they don't want a church person to be there. And I
Okay.
understand that. And that's why the executive leadership of our group is made up of people that are different religion, no religions. And, we're very accepting of, any viewpoint. So kind of when I show up on scene, my view has always been everyone on the fire department has a job and they have to all go and perform that action. My job is to be with the family and, give them a place to ask questions. They have somebody who can duck under the line and go find out what's going on and come back and talk to them. And it frees up, the command system
Yeah.
to be able to focus on the safety of the firefighter.
I tell you, once you and when you hear chaplains, somebody they're going to preach to me. I've had chaplains that I'm friends with, and what they do is amazing because they don't preach at you.
Yeah.
That I've learned. Could you kind of tell people that, educate them a little about what does a chaplain do, or the fire police? What is your responsibility to do?
Sure. My role as a chaplain is really to be there and be someone that has some working knowledge of what firefighters are doing, but also to be there and provide comfort and a space for families to talk to lean on, to share what's happening. Sometimes it's enough that we're there and they have somebody to talk to. Sometimes, because I did outreach for a long time, I have a really great list of resources. So sometimes when it's beyond me, I make sure that I've given them some resources to reach out and get even more, professional assistance, whether that is a counselor or substance abuse or, victim assistance, all of those kinds of things, and anything that you could see going wrong. Because if it's kind of a different thing when you've lost a person versus like losing property. And
Sure.
to have those resources in our hands to give helps a lot. IFD has victim assistance, but you can't be everywhere at once. So just
Sure.
being able to provide that extra piece of it is really helpful. The other things that we do are we'll come out to the stations after an incident. just to check on people and make sure everything's going okay and that they're feeling okay. And we'll talk to you if you want to. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. Um, the, a lot of it is just there's times that I walk up and ask a family, who do you need me to call? So that they're not the ones that have to call every person that they have to alert.
Sure.
And that could be a family member, a friend, someone else, work. It could also be a pastor or, the people that they feel the most supported by is who I want to make sure is there with them.
So who I'm really interviewing here is Wonder Woman, alias Chris. She swoops down like a hero and takes care of the situation, does their thinking for them, loves on them from a distance sometimes, and just there if needed. There's not a preaching going on, so don't be afraid of that when you hear chaplain. There's somebody that cares about you and loves you that you don't even know. So just if you see a chaplain next time, tell them thank you. So Chris, that was awesome. What you guys do, the fire bus, the peer support. But as far as back to the peer support,
Yeah.
is there a link, a Facebook page, or something that they could get a hold of you on?
Yeah, we have. We're on all the social media. That's at FFPeer. And our website is ffpeer.org. So you can find us. If you go to our website, you can link to the social media, but you can find us if you just do a Google search of Fire Family Peer Support, we're the first thing that comes up. But really, I mean, we focus on different aspects. Right now in our leadership team, I have myself with a retired firefighter and someone with a person who just got promoted to chief, a same-sex couple who are kind of like mid-career right now. And I have someone whose husband came on about 3 years ago.
That's good. Good stuff. That's diversity.
Yeah, we keep trying to keep that balance. So, and everybody gets to focus on some different things. So we're well aware that this isn't the 50s anymore, and not all firefighters are men. Not all firefighter spouses are staying home. And all of our kids are busy and signed up for things after school and have stuff to do. We aren't spending time in the fire stations anymore. So we're not getting to know each other. Families aren't getting to know each other like they used to back in the day.
Sure.
And, we're not showing up. Thank goodness, in some places where firefighters are getting paid a living wage and they're able to afford to have things done. So the whole station isn't showing up to put a new roof on anymore. As some places they do, but not everywhere, not as often.
Especially, the volunteers and different other people,
Yeah.
they're unsung heroes. We used to have a big thing about them and make fun of them back in my day, but my God, I got to know them, see what they do. Their heart is so in it. It's just amazing what they do. But no, you're right. Yeah, a long time ago, we used to build the Union Hall. Everybody would get together and do it because you didn't have that kind of just chip in a little bit and do what you had to do to get it done.
Mm-hmm. And then, and it just doesn't happen. There's no more, everybody shows up with, a potluck at somebody's house to get something done. And, we kind of miss that. We talk about it. We talk about our fire family all the time, but, there's aspects of it that have changed. And even, some of that, like getting a living wage is a great thing. The unintended consequence was this loss of connection. And
sure.
So we want to make sure that we have ways for people to connect again. And that's not always because you need help or you're feeling something. Sometimes it's just to have a fun, family friendly party and things like that. So we have events that don't have alcohol, so that your kids can come and get to know other kids. You can come and relax and know that your kids aren't going to see or hear something they probably shouldn't, although they probably will because it's firefighters. But Um,
or my wife will yell, Skip, put the keg down. You got to share. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. That was old Skip. Not anymore.
But, I mean, in those parties, St. Patrick's Day has its place and I'm all for it and people should go and have fun. But we should also host events that we're not going to, worry about bringing our kids to, or,
Sure.
things like that. Or, a place for people who can no longer be around that kind of party. They can be around this kind of party and help them on their journey of, sobriety or whatever that they're facing. And we want to make sure that there's a place for that. So we host those kind of fun family events. We want to go out to stations and reinvigorate family night. So if that means that we go to a station and buy pizza for everybody and all the families can come and...
Hold on a minute. What about the retirees guys that are not in Indianapolis? We do take orders. You can send me a pizza. No, go ahead.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's talk, right?
That's right.
As we built this, we started because, that's who we are and that's where we started in Indianapolis. Local 416 asked us to include everybody that is a member of Local 416, and we said yes. So we've expanded that, but we have purposely been building for the last 2 years this playbook of how we built this and the things that we've done so that any fire department anywhere, any family member or anyone else who wants to start a group like this, we can go, here, this is how we did it. And so they can just take the playbook and start working on it on their own.
Tell me, how do they get a hold of you right now?
Just contact at ffpeer.org. And if you go to the website, it'll take you straight to my email.
Website is ffpeer, PEER.org.
Yep.
I might add it an E. So it's ffpeer.org.
Maybe.
So if you want to know how to start a family network in your community, get a hold of Chris and she can help guide you with her team. I'm sure, Chris, do you get calls outside or messages outside your department asking for resources or asking for help?
I do. And I get resources or people asking me for resources from everywhere. A couple of weeks ago, I had a church reach out to me. They have a grief share group and wanted resources from us because sometimes they have, some of the people in their resource or in their grief share are public safety. And so even though they may not be firefighters, they can reach out to me and we'll get them connected with, if that's a police department, we'll get them connected and make sure. But it was just an easy place. But yeah, I have people reach out. We've partnered with Pro Team Wellness so that we can always have somebody to go to and talk to them about this is the situation that we're in. And they can help guide us when it's something that maybe is too much for the average Joe like me that needs more professional help, and they'll help us, recognize those signs. So, and one of the things that people should know, when you reach out to us, we are absolutely 100% confidential. If you have reached out to me for peer support and we've been talking, meeting over coffee, whatever is comfortable for you, texting, whatever is comfortable for you. If I see you somewhere in public, I won't acknowledge that I know you. You're going to have to come up to me and say, hi, Chris, how are you? And I'll start talking to you then. And if somebody asks me how I know you, the answer is always, I don't know, some fire department event. I will never tell anyone how I've reached out to you or how you've reached out to me or what we've talked about. When I talk about you with someone who's reached out to me, when I talk about them with a group, because we check in with each other and make sure that, because not every person has the best idea. So we collaborate together sometimes, and I'll say, hey, this person, there's no names, there's no identifying thing. No one else on the team knows I'm talking to you. We're very, very confidential in that way. I know how hard it is to reach out. I know how hard it is to be vulnerable. And sometimes you don't even want your family to know that you're seeking help.
That's right.
And I will never, everybody that signs up to be a volunteer with us agrees to that policy.
That is awesome. That kind of trust is needed. People know that that's the biggest thing. We got to get over the trust issue. Who are going to talk about? Because years ago they used the auxiliary. They said the guys would look, they're just gossip back and forth, and you do a lot, and that was true. And now, since learning about mental health and peer support, how toxic that is. But what's your husband's name?
Bob.
Okay. How long is he on the department or retired?
He retired a year ago, August.
Okay. When you said Bob, your eyes just lit up and stuff. How long you guys been married?
We've been married 25 years.
That's great. Now, is Bob, so you treat Bob like a king, right? And then Bob treats you. Well, yeah. Because you know what? If you do that, you're the queen.
Well, exactly. So I say he's retired. He retired for 5 days, and then he's working another job.
All right.
You know how it is.
I get it. Well, I want to ask you a question. Here's what I tell everybody. You got a family member out there, and they're seeing their loved one going down the rabbit hole. They're sinking, whether it's from alcohol, drugs, whether it's from a run, communication is gone, whatever it is. You got 30 seconds to talk to them. Go.
Oh, my gosh. Are you okay? That's the first question I'm going to ask. Are you okay? How are you doing? And this isn't your fault. You can't control it, and you are not responsible. Let's talk.
That's good. That right there, that is perfect. You're opening the door, letting them know there's nothing wrong with them. And you said, let's talk, and you listen to them. That's beautiful. That's the best things or the simplest things.
Thanks, Skip.
Us firefighters think we got to go save the world and solve everybody's problems. And when we can't do it, it's, I love it when you put it that way. It makes it real easy and real simple. And that's what thank you for coming on here. But there's another question I ask all the guests. I asked, is there a phrase or a verse, whether it's in the Bible or something you heard, that keeps you going when you get life comes down on you or gives you motivated? Is there one of those that resonates in your mind right now?
It changes all the time. But mostly it's that I don't always have to be enough. I get to lean on others for the things that I need.
That's good. Man, you had to. I tell you, if anybody out there didn't get anything from that, keep it simple and just be available. Because let's see, FS, that's for firefighters, ffpeer.org, ffpeer.org website. You can contact Chris or Christina. And if you want a playbook, how to start one in your department, they got one for you. And they have a good team, a diversity team. If you feel comfortable talking to somebody else, I'm sure Chris will handle that.
Yep, we sure will.
Well, thank you, Chris, for coming on. And tell Bob he's going to be in my prayers, okay?
I will.
Okay.
Thanks, Skip.
Thank you. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in today. Come back next week. We're going to have an awesome guest, too. Just like Chris today, we're going to have another awesome guest. But for now, when you go home tonight, shut your phone off. Shut that scanner off and get some sleep. Thank you.